Good morning, and thank you for being here. My name is Abdullah Hamoud, and I am the state representative for Michigan's 15th district from the city of Dearborn. And I am joined by several of my House Democratic colleagues, as well as representatives from Michigan United, the American Civil Liberties Union of Michigan, the National Association of Social Workers, MGAGE, the Washtenaw Immigrant Justice Coalition, and Washtenaw County Sheriff Clayton. Today, I am proud to be joining 14 of my colleagues in introducing the My Civil Rights Expansion Package, comprised of 14 bills and 2 resolutions. This comprehensive first-of-its-kind package will extend needed civil protections to all residents of the state of Michigan, regardless of birthplace. This package is also timely, given that Michigan has joined the rest of the nation, with our governor declaring the month of June as National Immigrant Heritage Month. The central piece of legislation, an overarching theme, is making Michigan a welcoming state. Now, I know we've heard this term often, and people always ask, what does it mean to be a welcoming state? A welcoming state is one that promotes public safety by ensuring our local police officers maintain trust and good relations with the communities they protect, that we not misallocate our state and local law enforcement resources for the purposes of federal immigration. A welcoming state fosters economic vitality by providing an equal opportunities for all individuals to pursue the American dream. And this package will take the fear out of enrolling your children in school, eliminate bureaucratic red tape while seeking employment, and providing support to immigrant-owned businesses alongside woman-owned and minority-owned businesses. A welcoming state seeks to attract individuals from other states near and far, as well as individuals from other nations near and far. And this package provides incentives to local municipalities that assist in resettling families. So why is this package needed? Over the last several years, and specifically this last year, we have seen a spike in hate crimes, largely against immigrant communities and communities of color. The Center for Study of Hate and Extremism recorded a 20% increase in hate crimes in 9 U.S. metropolitan areas. The Southern Poverty Law Center counted 867 cases of hateful harassment or intimidation in the U.S. in only 10 days after the November election. We have witnessed big government overreaching into the lives of residents, tearing families apart, demanding the misappropriation of state resources for federal responsibilities, asking our police officers to perform the jobs entrusted to federal officials. And we cannot stand idly by as many Michigan residents go about their lives in a state of fear. Fear of being profiled and discriminated against, fear of being separated from their loved ones, fear of never having an equal opportunity to thrive and succeed. This package of bills hopes to spur a change in culture. A culture where my mother's hijab is greeted with reverence, not rebuke. Where my father's accent is welcomed with curiosity, not caution. These bills will provide needed protections for residents of our state and attract individuals that wish to call Michigan home, like my parents did nearly 40 years ago. Our state cannot be the best version of herself without the help of immigrants who have enriched our state and our nation in countless ways. And now I'd like to introduce Washtenaw County Sheriff Clayton.
Good morning. My name is Jerry Clayton. I'm the Sheriff of Washtenaw County. I've been a criminal justice professional for almost 30 years, and I've been the Sheriff of the county for 8.5 years. I'm here to talk to you about a couple things, to talk against the proposed House bills in support of the legislation that's just been mentioned to you. I come from a welcoming community. Washtenaw County has established itself as a welcoming community, and it's done that because we know a couple things, that immigrants add value to the community, that we know that contrary to the national narrative, immigrant does not equal crime. It's behavior we should be focused on, not what we think someone looks like or what they represent. We also know that we must challenge the national narrative on a number of other levels. There's been talk that as you increase the immigrant population in the community, crime increases in that community. Study after study shows the direct opposite. Not only does crime not increase, actually, in many studies, it's been reflected that crime goes down when you invite people from different ethnicities and different countries into our country to diversify and add different perspectives and make us a better community. I want to say one thing. I was told a long time ago, my grandfather said to me, remember what you were when. All of us that speak out against having people come into our country should remember what we were, what our grandparents were, and what our great-grandparents were when. We did not all come over here together under the same circumstances, but we are here now. We are the country that we are now, the best country in the world, because we are diversified and we welcome immigrants. It would be a travesty to go against that continual trend. Let me say just really quick from a law enforcement perspective. We also know that we are successful in investigating crimes, in solving crimes, in working collaboratively with our community, and problem-solving efforts that add value to the community when we work hand in hand with the people that we are sworn to protect. If there is a fear that at a local level we are assuming federal responsibilities to enforce immigration law, we separate ourselves from the community that we desperately need to add value to the overall community. So I implore you to stand up against the House bills that are being presented to us that will divide us, that will make us less safe, that will create fear and anxiety in our immigrant community. I'll say one more time, remember what we were when we welcomed everybody in and we made the United States the country that it is today. Thank you.
And now we'll welcome Maria Ibarra with Michigan United.
Hello, my name is Maria Ibarra, and I am an immigrant. I have lived in the U.S. since I was 9 years old, and I currently have DACA status, which is a renewable 2-year work permit that allows me to stay and work in the U.S. I am representing the Washtenaw Interfaith Coalition for Immigrant Rights and the Washtenaw Immigrant Justice Coalition in opposition of House Bill 4105 and 4334. I'm here because I want to put a face to the issue of immigration, and to say from firsthand experience growing up as an undocumented immigrant that these bills hurt Michigan and do not make us safer. I grew up afraid of the police, nervous every time I saw a patrol car, even though I was doing nothing that would warrant being stopped. If these bills pass, I know the fear among immigrants will be tenfold. I know that we would lose trust in our police departments if it means that we could be deported. We are already seeing it. The reports of sexual assault are lower than ever, and not because sexual assault has decreased, but because people are scared to come forth to the police if it means they will be deported. So then, we're stuck in a system that doesn't have a pathway to legal status, ignores the reasons why we come to the U.S. in the first place, and then also refuses to let us lead a safe and fulfilled life. We need to be better than this. We need to create a welcoming community. Not a state where neighbor turns upon neighbor, where anyone has the right to sue their local government if they follow through with creating sanctuary policies. Sanctuary cities do not exist. There is no sanctuary for immigrants of color. These bills are dangerous. They create incentives for racial profiling, and they disregard that our immigration system is broken. Instead of wasting resources on policing communities of color, we should be focusing on policies like the one that Representative Hammoud has introduced today. Policies that create a welcoming and inclusive community for everyone and create a stronger, better Michigan. Thank you.
And now we welcome Natalie to share her story.
Hello, my name is Natalie Munoz. I am a wife and a mother of 4 children. And I met my husband about 13 years ago in high school, and we've been together ever since. He's a great father. We take care of our children, get them ready for school, take them to school, parent-teacher conference, soccer games. A few months ago in April, my husband got pulled over by Detroit police, and he was issued a minor traffic ticket violation, which he has been going to court and he has been complying with court orders. But still, in May, my husband was getting ready to pull out of our driveway to take our kids to school, and he was blocked by 4 dark trucks. They were all dark, and they had the windows all tinted, so you couldn't see who was driving it. 4 officers pulled out, dressed in all black vests, and all it said was across the chest, it said police. And they proceeded to order my husband to get out of the vehicle. And one of the officers in particular reached inside the vehicle, pulled him out of the car, slammed him against the car, was arresting him. My husband kept on telling him, "Please don't treat me like that. My kids are in the car." The officer didn't seem to be bothered. He still continued to yell at him. The children got out the vehicle. They started yelling. They were panicking. They didn't know what was going on. They just knew that officers were arresting his father. their father. And they were screaming, they were yelling, let my daddy go. And I asked questions like, what's going on? All the officer did was give me a piece of paper, said, call this number. They'll have more information where your husband will be. And they left us outside. It was raining. It was cold. The kids were frantic. They were screaming. Left me with no answers. And this is not just my story. This is the story of hundreds and hundreds of immigrant families across Michigan. We could be sipping coffee, going on our everyday, and families are being torn apart. Working families. My husband is always working, providing for his kids, the best things that he could provide. And so this is why I am here today on behalf of Michigan United to endorse Representative Hamoud's Civil Rights Bill package, because this is the way that people should be treated with dignity and respect. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that story. My name is Kimberly Button. I'm the Policy Counsel for the ACLU of Michigan. The ACLU is pleased to support the My Civil Rights Expansion Bill package. This bill package represents effective and common sense policies that will enforce best practices when it comes to community policing, transparency, government accountability, and protecting the individual rights of everyone, regardless of their citizenship or immigration status. The constitutional guarantees of due process and equal protection apply to all people in this country, not just U.S. citizens. The Constitution was designed to protect the most vulnerable members in our society. Laws that only protect some people's rights put everybody's rights in jeopardy. When we take away the due process and equal protection from one vulnerable group, we chip away at the Constitution and its fundamental protections that we value so much. Now more than ever, it is critical to counter the pervasive anti-immigration narrative that attempts to paint members of our society as the others. We must continue to reinforce the fact that our immigrant population is our community. There is no us versus them. There is no other. We, the people, are one and the same. And policies that support and protect the rights of our immigrant community support and protect the rights of our community as a whole. Just as policies that are designed to target our immigrant community target and attack our community as a whole. Bills like HB 4105 and 4334 exemplify why immigration enforcement should be left up to federal immigration officers. The vague language of these bills leaves the requirements of law enforcement up to interpretation and will dismantle local policies designed to protect our communities and the time and resources of local police. Divisive immigration policies like 4105 and 4334 are unjust and legally suspect, in addition to being against our national and state interests and the core American values of fundamental fairness and equality. Right now, in many areas of Michigan, residents are in fear of the very people and systems designed to protect them. Victims of violence are afraid to come forward for fear of harassment about their immigration status based solely on their perceived race, ethnicity, or their accent. People are afraid to show up to court for minor infractions because ICE may be waiting there to rip them away from their families and the life they've established. It's time to educate our neighbors. It's time to have those difficult and potentially uncomfortable and honest conversations. It's time to ensure that the laws that govern our community and our daily lives reflect the needs of our entire community. We encourage our legislators to craft policies that push for inclusion, not intimidation. Policies that foster support, not suppression. Policies that will encourage the protection of rights rather than the profiling of races. And we are happy to support a comprehensive civil rights bill package that does just that. Thank you so much for coming.